Okay, so we will have a tank. Should I put one? Guess out here. So on normal and easy, tanks will not. Tanks will not, like, as soon as they see you, they will not throw a rock. And they only do that if you're far enough away. It takes a bit. Holy fuck. So on normal difficulty, when a tank spawns far away from you, or like has line of sight far away from you, they will not immediately throw a rock. This is on normal and easy. So you have to wait quite some time for them to throw a rock. And on, let's say, what's hard? So on advanced and expert, when a tank spawns away from you, from far away, the first thing you do, it'll throw a rock. And when you're shooting a rock, you have to wait a decent amount of frames before you can actually shoot it. So that means you can't immediately shoot the rock from its hands. It's immune to all damage. Okay, I don't want that animation, buddy. But you can't shoot it too early. It takes quite a bit of time before you can actually shoot it. It's so, at least when you're playing versus, when someone throws a rock at you, it just doesn't immediately delete. So it's at least fair. But, since on advanced and expert, when they throw a rock, like, as soon as they see you, it means it's predictable and leaves open an opportunity to dodge the tank, because for some reason, when a tank throws a rock, it just cannot aim properly to punch you, so you can just run right past it. At least more consistently on, if you're looking at a tank, by going to the left, rarely by going to the right. So, bait the rock. As you can see, it just misses the next punch. So again, that's too far. He's decent amount of distance away. So as you can see, he doesn't punch you. And that, so for a tank run, if you're ahead, the tank will aim at you first, and then you can bait the rock, and then you can have just a free passage past it. And tank run, they only have one rock per life, so only you have one attempt at it before you have to find some other way around it. But again, oh, this is obviously when they spawn too close on expert and advanced, they do not throw a rock. And so when you shoot a tank, you will slowly gain distance from them. Let me, hold on, just before I move on, I gotta... That is not what I wanted, so... Overhead throws, you can dodge. Yeah, see, going to the right sometimes just has that happen. When he does that throw animation by his waist, you want to make sure you bait to the left, because you will not be able to bait to the right. You can't bait it the same way as you would to the left side. So going to the right and left. hits you, and then assuming it gets that animation again. So left, then right, it's free. So most of the time you just want to be going to the left side of the tank. I mean, you could do it with this as well. At least an overhead, but not with the underhand. Okay, and now for tank strafing. So say you want to pass a tank, right? But obviously when you try to run past it, it tries to cut you off. Well, let me change the difficulty. One sec. Difficulty normal. So now, when you try to strafe a tank, it will cut you off. So most of the time it will hit you. Right, like say I try to go past him, it'll just hit you. Right, so an easy way to deal with that is by just shooting. As you can see, it slows him down. It's significant enough where you can use that to go around them. And you can even gain distance. So tanks just like at least run at the same pace as you, just slightly slower. But as you can see, if I start to shoot them, you gain more distance away from them, and then it will try to throw a rock. It's more effective at closer range. So again, tank, just not shooting it. It'll be at like roughly the same distance the entire time. As you can see, I'm not even moving my mouse and it's still on my crosshair. And then doing this gets further and further away. I mean, he's throwing a rock, but still. And Molotov would also change the way it runs. Oh, I have that command on. One sec. Now it runs a lot slower without even having to shoot it. So it is another way to slow down a tank. Now, this is probably something very obvious, but if you want to get past a tank, try to bait it to climb something. It'll make it way easier to run past them. Even like small obstacles like this, they'll have trouble. So like, for example, if a tank spawns here, you can jump onto this side and run around it. And the same would apply for this. You just want to climb on things that you can use to walk around the tank. And going back to the tank rock bullshit, so if you were to go back to advance, and then say a tank spawns in this hallway, and you can't run past it by climbing, you can still bait the rock. So on a map like Coaster, where, you know, it's just a big tunnel. So here, for example, it's just one corridor. You have to get past a tank in Tank Run. Obviously bait the rock. Not like that. But even when you jump over it, it'll miss sometimes. After those of rock. So here. Just jump over its head. Most of the time it'll not hit you. like that. So if it weren't throwing a rock, it'd probably hit me. Like that. So it has to throw a rock. And back to, say, someone runs past you and the tank comes back towards you. You can obviously make it climb these railings so you can run past it. And then you can also shoot it in like extra, so you have more space, and then just go on your merry way. Last thing to mention is tank rocks. When it throws a rock, you can obviously bait it, right? And then you can just stand behind it for a little bit. And this will give some time for other people to run past it. And what this also means is, if I were to have a melee weapon, you can get like a lot of percent damage from the melees. Since they don't do base number attack damage, they do percentage based attack damage. It's not as strong as a shotgun up like a close range, especially an auto shotgun. But yeah, you can even start a tank kill chain doing that. So well, not like this. Hold on. So tank will throw a rock. Once it swings, it has a cooldown on its next punch. So with some melee weapons, you can actually just do like 2 swings that aren't fast hits, and then jump back. I don't know if you have to jump back. I think you can just walk. You can do the same thing with climbing. Oh yeah, you can just walk back. But the same thing applies with ledges. You can bait a punch. I left too early there, but it is very timing based. And last thing, I guess, is the ledge punch that tanks can do. So if you stand too close to a ledge, they'll punch you as it climbs. Say, for example, here. Well, that's too high. It has to be like lower in height. Be like here. No, it's doing a different animation. There's just very particular spots where it can just climb and punch you at the same time. Like that. And so when it does that, you can just jump to avoid the punch. Granted, that's too low for it. I don't know, maybe if this is like the right height for that kind of deal. I can't think of an area where I would need to. But yeah, I mean, I guess if it was to climb this, you can just jump to avoid it. I don't know why it won't climb this ledge. Maybe this one? Oh, now it wants to climb. So yeah, well, okay, good climb. So when it climbs, you can just jump over it. And then just jump past it again, second time. So one thing to know is LERP will change shooting the rock timing, but I don't think you need to worry about that unless you're like playing 100 ping plus. And don't try to melee skeet, it's not worth it. Like doing this is not worth it at all. So tanks, when they... Okay, let's say one's here. One person's here in front. So tanks will typically... Oh wait, hold on, let me change difficulty as well. Tanks will typically target the first person who's closest around a corner. So Rochelle here is closer to a tank would spawn, say like here, right? Well, I guess he has line of sight of Nick. So see, Rochelle was the closest. Why the fuck was it? So tanks typically have a priority to who they target first, especially when they spawn around a corner. So they chase somebody who is the first person that they see, and at close range, closer to the tank than it would be anyone else. So it would say if it spawns around this corner, and Rochelle's just right here, tank is going to chase me and ignore Rochelle completely. Now, you can change the aggro of the tank depending on if the tank loses line of sight of you. So say it were to throw a rock here. That is not where I spawned it. So here, there's a rock. And then Rochelle is first to see, or like closest to the tank, it'll start chasing the second survivor. So it will change its target after it throws a rock. And it will change its target after you do something else. So let's say so normally a tank will so it's gonna chase Nick, but using a melee weapon will change the target of the survivor. It's chasing Rochelle now, and now when I melee, it will change the target. This will also apply to, let's say, so if I spawn it there, it should chase Rochelle, but if I give myself a chainsaw, so it's just gonna throw a rock at Rochelle, right? And then if I pull the chainsaw out, it should stop, it should ignore Rochelle and start chasing me instead. Even if I were like stand like in between. I guess she was in the way, but like it will still chase me. Nice boost. And last thing to note is miniguns will also change the target. So, for example, say Bill is here on the minigun, and a tank is in front of my face. Right, so if I switch and grab it, it should just completely ignore that I'm standing right next to it. Again, I will spawn a tank, further demonstrate. So it's chasing me, right, ignoring Bill, and then I'm too far away from it now. So now if I get in the minigun, it should just ignore Lewis entirely. So I guess this is a better example. Why is it playing twice? Okay, say a tank spawns here. Right, throws a rock, I path past it, and the second person comes here, it'll start chasing the next person that has line of sight to. So it could basically happen something like I guess I can just stand here, honestly. So just a better example. So it can spawn here, throw a rock, say I run past it, and the next person it will chase is, again, the person who has the closest line of sight. You can even be just standing here as the second player, and it will just run back. Okay, and now I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I could think of that would be useful. Aside from tank boosts, which are its completely own separate thing, because when you crouch jump and get hit by a tank, you won't get any higher. You'll just go the same distance you were to normally jump. But yeah, that's it.